Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire. This is the second stream on the map submitted by a member of the community. To avoid butchering their name, it's in the title for the stream if you're watching on Twitch, or in the title of the YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube. But that's the Redditor who supplied the map. I believe they technically have a different name on the Slytherin forums as well, so they go by a couple names. We're going to be picking up from where we left off last time. It should basically be the end of the turn here, although the turns, other than the end turns taking a while to go, are actually going pretty fast. Card-wise, we don't really have much to do. Victory point-wise, we are in last. We control the least amount of the planet out of all 11 major regimes. And the least amount of population. So we'll see if we can get out of last. On the other hand, I don't think any of the other AI are going to run off with the game, because there's so many of us, it's going to be a little bit hard to do that. We've also got 4 neighbors. We've got slavers, mutants, and slavers. I don't even know who the people to the south are. Hopefully not more slavers. Although they totally could be, just to screw with us. We need more troops, but we also need more industry, and apparently I need more money. Are we running a money deficit on top of everything else? Treasure cash flow. Yeah, we're losing about 7 credits a turn. So I need to sell some stuff just to make sure the treasury doesn't run empty. We're making a decent amount of food. I'm just gonna max sell the food.
We'll go.
And then we're going to go ahead and cycle the turn. So right now we're not actively at war with any of the slavers. Hopefully that means we can encourage them to leave our territory without having to shoot at them. But we'll see how well that goes. To be fair, this is a scenario where things do go horribly wrong. I could totally imagine us losing this run of Shadow Empire real early on. As you can see, we've literally got slavers with armored buggies, literally. Well, I think there might even be a tank in there, literally outside the bunker. So if things go wrong, things may go really wrong, really fast. And that's kind of the state of the game we are here on our turn roll over. We've got some spying. We embedded a spy in the slavers to the east, so we've got a rough idea of what their territory looks like. And it's not particularly friendly to take over, so even if we went hostile with them, and somehow the troops to fight them off, we don't want their territory. The only thing that would be nice about it, maybe, is there might be metal in there. But yeah, it's a big giant mountain range. That's going to be a pain to do anything with. But yeah, I'm not too concerned that we're in last. I'm actually more concerned about the fact that we're having difficulty trying to control our, effectively what I tend to think of as the city circle. You can get danger modifiers from enemy units, hostile units being within 3 tiles of an asset. Obviously, you have an asset in your main city tile, so you tend to want to control 3 tiles out from your main city tile, and we don't have that level of control. Slightly suffering from the large number of regimes here as far as waiting for the turns to cycle. This is one thing that may speed up, although there's 11 majors, so it probably isn't going to speed up very much as we move through the game. And we're waiting for something interesting to happen. Or, well, I suppose actually the other way around. We're hoping nothing interesting happens, because if something interesting happens, we may be having a very bad day. Okay, one of the neighbors that we know about was moving. And we lose another hex instead. Yep. Lose more hexes instead of gaining more hexes. Kind of the opposite of what we want. Well, at least for the moment, we don't need to worry about the minor to the territory to the south, because we don't control the border with them anymore. Yeah, he's thinking. You're being attacked by rifle militia. Managed to kill 100 of them in self-defense, but otherwise no damage. There we go. So it's now our turn again. At the beginning of round 8, we have 5 decisions. We killed 100 infantry. Yeah, we can tell from reconnaissance that the slaves are all up in that territory, which is a bit annoying. Did they actually move out of that hex? I'm going to try to take it. And they did. Okay. They haven't moved out of that one, as we can see. So it is what it is. You discover a special location. And you want me to go hold it. And the answer to that is no.
Sir, yes, sir.
There's no way we're getting there. They haven't abandoned it. It'll still be there. But they're all the way down. They're all the way down here. No way are we getting down there with a road. And our tiny little bit of an issue. Refugee camp. Well, we like that we know about that. But there's we'll want to go down there at some point. So there's the refugee camp. There's the refugee camp. We'll want those. And that might be where when we finally secure the stabilizing the location, that might be what we try to do. So we might try to drive down there. But these guys are screwed, completely screwed. They're not even going to make it back to food. Walking the entire time. National budget 50-50.
Sir,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
You demand. You want merit to go to 40 from 49 to 57. Apparently I'm running there. I'm running there. Well,
Sir,
we'll say
yes,
yes.
sir.
We have no idea if that's going to happen. It probably isn't, but we can try. Military model. I always like to get the research going, but I think this is a situation where we may need to
Sir,
jump
yes,
into
sir.
an early model. Ship belonging to the Ocean MTH is trying to extinguish onboard fire. They're requesting help. They get a relationship increase and heart, or you can get them to pay us money. Because we went commerce, I'm going to take the commerce option. Do we actually get paid 700? We do. Okay. So, thank you, TH, for payday. That's all our industry. So that's probably what we're doing for that turn. Unless we've got some good strat cards. We got Send Spies, so we could figure out what those groups are, what that group is to the south.
Sir, yes, sir.
Oop, I hit the wrong zone of it. I hit this zone of it. Not the one I was trying to get. So we're going to know that the slavers are slavers. That's fine. Okay, let's cycle the turn again. Again, not much to say about this end turn. We're hopefully going to see the slavers move away from our territory. But the northern ones are not likely to do that. At least not in a usable way, because we don't want to encircle them. So at best, the one on the far right one, this one might move. Hopefully that direction. Right? It's basically got two directions it can move. It can either move back in their own territory, or it can move into our territory. We're hoping it goes that way, because then we can take that tile and secure a little bit more of our zone. Same sort of thing down here. We're hoping that these guys back off, so we can take a little bit more of our territory back without having to shoot them. Because right now, if this goes into a hot shooting conflict, I don't think we have the personnel to resist. So we're kind of fingers crossed, like, hopefully the slavers don't attack, because I don't think we got the bullets. Well, I don't think we got the bullet effectiveness. That's one of the reasons I picked the model designer over the military council. Is the model designer could, in theory, discover... Well, maybe a little less discovery. Also, we can just redesign our infantry. Our infantry are, in theory, right now using slug throwers. And they can upgrade to, believe, to carbines, which will be about a 50% fire increase. From a firepower to ammo standpoint, it'll be the same ratio, so it'll be 50% more ammo being consumed, but... Seeing as we're still in the phase of the game where we are manpower limited, improving the efficiency of our manpower, even if it's 50% more, is valuable. So yeah, the Model Council could then let us redesign the infantry. Model Council could also then potentially discover tanks. Although we wouldn't be able to afford tanks anytime soon. For dealing with the jungle, we might benefit from motorcycles. This is one of the terrain types that is very valuable to have motorcycles in. Because again, I don't think we'd be able to afford usable armored cars this early. Same sort of logic with the tanks. The tanks are the buggies, the armored buggies, the armored cars are basically budget tanks, but even they are probably more expensive than we can afford. Yeah, I don't think that guy's making it back to town. He's doing a one-way exploration mission. And you can see one of the reasons why we turned him down on, we found a location. Can you protect the location? We turned him down. Was because he didn't even make it one turn, right? Because he needed to run back for food. He's not gonna make it back for food. Like he would starve before he took the point back, and running off to go get food means the point gets we lose the point in turn. So, although he is trading effectively, he did trade 300 to 0. So we killed 300 infantry because the adventurers survived a battle. We have 4 decisions awaiting us on round 9. No dice on that moving. I don't want that hex unless we can have that hex. And you are going to try to move north. Try and probably fail. And then replenishment. We only got enough industry to build 8. We'll deploy the replacement. So deploy 1 of the 8. And then next turn we should be able to deploy an independent, extra independent squad. Decision-wise, favor design.
Sir, yes, sir.
Unit decision. Don't really want either of those. Yeah, we don't want either of those. Enforcement's gonna be easier to overcome, so we'll do that one. And then we need to get a
Sir, yes, sir.
leader, so we'll take a junior. Junior obviously has to have the job because it's the only person we've got. He's a capacity 3 person, so decent person with the job.
Understood.
And then I think we will try to upgrade our infantry. We're gonna build upon the GIs. So by default they start with slug throwers. We're gonna upgrade them to carbines. Actually, I was assuming that it was 50% firepower and 50% ammo. It's actually double ammo. So they're gonna use 50% more firepower. They're gonna use twice as much ammo for the cost of 50% more firepower. And we got only 1 gunner.
Understood.
That will take a while to develop. And in the meantime, we're going to have to still continue using the old ones. And unless we got really lucky with a card pull, I think that's it. And not much else expected on this turn. This end turn. Again, same sort of things. We're hoping to see the slavers move in a way that allows us to secure more territory without more men. Waiting and observing. Waiting and observing. This is sometimes the drawback of... Well, this is the drawback of playing on very large worlds with a lot of factions. The more AIs you have, the more they tend to be able to tie up the in-turn cycle. Waiting and observing. So this is the slavers to the east. Initial results suggest that at least the slaver that we wanted to move did not move. Yeah, other than the fact I think we're going to be able to deploy another infantry squad on the next turn. No real improvement in the situation. I think it's next turn where that infantry is going to start starving. And we're holding. Was one of the non-line factions, so we should be most of the way to the end of the turn here. In fact, I think it's just deciding what the events will be for the turn. There we are. Solus State, round 10. We killed 3 infantry. We have 2 decisions and 89 reports awaiting us. Mystic Priest, meet the CEO. Offer to buy slaves. And we'll form elite sweepers. And yeah, we will take the slaves.
Yes, sir.
Even though we want to be gaining merit, and that's an anti-merit choice. As far as... what's the history here? I did just make a video on this... No, we can't see it necessarily on the one when we're being attacked. Okay. Yeah, there's a whole question. Caliber matrix modifier. Well, this is against the entire unit. We're not having a unit by unit breakdown here. I made a video recently. It hasn't gone live yet on YouTube. Breaking down some discussion about the caliber matrix. So they're getting average of -4% here because they're attacking a unit that has a armored buggy in it. Granted, this is across the whole unit, so it's a little bit less useful there, stat-wise, to discuss than the one I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, we got what, one? We got 2 out of 20, so it's a 10th. And what was that? A 2%? %. Okay, so yeah. Don't necessarily, not necessarily sure that's assigning the way I think I did, or should assign. But we got a modifier of -4% there. Okay, let's go ahead. We should be able to raise a independent formation of light infantry. Unless we got industry from somewhere. We got a lot of industry. All of a sudden. Looks like the locals have managed to build a light industry to provide us with more industry. That's actually really good. We're going to take advantage of that by deploying an extra independent unit and get our manpower fully deployed. Let's get these guys attached to our light infantry HQ. So they've basically got a commander. And then with that and the new unit provided by the militia, we should now be able to start trying. Ideally, not without fighting. We don't want to necessarily start shooting units up because the irregular tank here, for example, is going to be an issue if we have to actually get into a shooting match with it. But we're probably at the point where we can start to carefully encourage these guys to be moving away from our HQ and not towards our HQ. And we have such high danger because they're right outside the zone. We may legitimately have problems trying to keep everyone happy because of that level of danger, which may be the other thing that may, in the long run, kill us. Covert ops, although I don't think I can get the covert ops in the one I want to. Yep, can't get on the one I want to right now, which is figure out what the nation to the south, or the territory of the south is. Well, we've got a glut of... Actually, no. I think we're good for the moment. The bullets. So all the resources are coming in, so that's good. We've got more units deployed. We're going to build 2 replacements next turn. The turn after next, we'll probably try to raise... Assuming I can afford it. We might not have the industry at that point. Try to raise a unit of 500 machine guns to garrison the HQ, where the rest of the guys start pushing out. That way I can not have to use the 1st Infantry HQ as a garrison for the SHQ. Oh, I forgot the unit to the south. He would have done like a hex or 2 more exploring, and that's probably it. So thinking back on that caliber modifier, the rifle militia we're in theory fighting should have 20 millimeters of penetration, because they've got kinetic weapons, assuming you follow the manual. The militia armored buggy either has 5, 25, or 50 millimeters of armor, so it either should have no caliber matrix modifier, 20% caliber matrix modifier, or minus 40% caliber matrix modifier. Is it 40%? 60%. Because 20 divided by 50 is 40, so 40 would be the remainder. Yeah, 60%. So the 4% makes sense because the 2 armored buggies make up 10% of the unit. So against the unit, it's 4%, but it's technically 20% against the armored buggies and 0 to everything else. If you were to attack them the other way around, I think there's a ambush modifier to armor. So if you're being ambushed, your armor is a little less effective. But when you're attacking, you can see it on you can bring up a detailed combat log, and see all the attacks on a unit-by-unit basis. So you can see, I think it's a minus 18% in the test battle I ran earlier today for the YouTube video I made up. If you're watching this on YouTube, that video would have gone up a couple days ago. If you're watching this on Twitch, that's a video made today. It'll go up the same day as the first part of the series. Okay, do we get lucky and that unit move? The answer is no. Oh, I forgot to move that guy again. This is one reason I don't necessarily like adventures randomly popping up in places. They can be useful for knowing where things are. I'm in the Fog of War, so you've got a direction to go. But when you've just got like doomed ones like this, it can be depressing. Because you don't remember to use or move them because they're not part of your normal unit roster. And they're very doomed, so they're not... It's often not even worth moving them, even if... Well, it's worth moving them, right? That's kind of the mistake I'm making right now, is that I'm not moving this guy. Because we can get more info. But we're not really going to get any useful information for moving him. Okay, so we want you to go there. We'll send you there. I'm gonna see if there's someone in this mountain. And there is.
Requesting backup.
Someone in this mountain. Yes.
Requesting backup.
And that's the turn as far as our movements. Minimum bid requested 98. We'll make the minimum bid. I'm not going to pay more than the minimum bid. We'll make the minimum bid. Offer to buy slaves. Again, I don't like that we're losing merit here, but I like the commerce, and I don't want the opinion of their factions to go down.
Yes, sir.
Industry-wise, we are going to want to get this recycling trap going at some point, although that's 3,000 industry we don't have, so that's still a few turns out. And while I was hoping for this guy to move, and hoping for this guy to move, we're not getting that lucky. This is definitely a very slow start. And not much to say about this. We've got a ruin to potentially do salvaging in, but we got to save an industry for that. At this point, we got a cohesive front line, so it's just that we don't want to fight our neighbors. Because they've got armor, and we've got generic infantry. Generic first-generation infantry. Even though we're rushing to put out carbines, the carbines aren't going to be that much of an improvement. So probably early on, we want to get the salvaging location set up. We probably, if we can afford it, we want to probably get a dock set up. After that, if we continue affording things, then it's probably try to get some more bureaucratic points going so we can get the tech and the industry and stuff going a little bit faster. Well, the tech and the design going a bit faster. Because once we get into mid-game, these slavers won't really be a problem. But right here at Tech 3 start early game, they're big pain in the booty. And that guy down there is basically combat ineffective at this point from the starvation. And there they go both. Okay, so the rifle militia on that free folk village attacked us. We held firm, destroying about 300 of them. So we killed 400 infantry, we lost 400 infantry because of the adventurers finally being dealt with. It's round 12, we have 1 decision with 87 reports. We've heard rumors that somewhere in the Malorina territory have leveled up, the Rectans have leveled up to Hive territory. Okay, so we've got 1 share in the neighboring neighboring MTH. So 6% of the shares we own. Doing a quick check to make sure that the territory with the hive is not the one next to us, which is the case. And they're still in the next. And of course we lost another person trying to check. Offer to buy slaves. I don't think we can get the money for that. That would be 500. That would do it. That would do it. At the same time, we do want to be building towards a recycling facility, which means I need at least 2 machine parts. So let's get those 2 machine parts.
We'll go.
And then we'll go ahead and sell off all the rare metal. Does that give us enough? Yes.
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, I think I've got enough that I can go ahead and raise that MG that I'm thinking about. Yeah. And then strat card wise, got spies that we don't need to use yet. Don't really want to call it the CEO. We got an archaeological effort. Let's take a roll on that.
Order received.
We failed the roll. To be fair, most likely the roll is going to tell us there wasn't anything interested in the ruins here. Let me roll the turn. And we're waiting. At this point, I think we've got enough of a secure line that these are going to be fairly boring end turns. Unless we have a moment of eureka where we see one of the slaver units moving out of the tiles we need them to move out of. Any of these three move, we'll take the tile. This one moves, we'll take the tile. This one, in theory, might actually have enough movement to do like that, in which case that might let us take 2 tiles. And the fact that, like, I'm planning expansion by the tile is maybe a sign of how slow this opening is going to be at this point. Industry-wise, I'm not really planning on building any more units anytime soon. I do think from here on out, assuming, well, we're going to do replacements, right? We're not necessarily going to let our units run out of troops. But we're going to try to get the salvaging the location, not the salvaging, not on top of herself, but over in over here. Start salvaging that large location. After that, we'll start saving up for the dock, which we'll probably put down here. And will help provide us with more food, as well as, in theory, allowing us potentially other expansion options. Although to really expand by that method, we need far more money. We need commerce to start delivering some of its nice commerce cards, so we can jumpstart the economy. To be fair, in a way, the economy has already started to jumpstart. We've got an industry from the local economy started up. Well, I don't think we were lucky enough to have any of the slavers move. Their turn was awfully short. Okay, looking at the time, I think this is going to be the end turn I end this part on. So if you're watching on YouTube, we will have another part up tomorrow, which we'll be picking up from where we left off at the end of this one. We are going to play out the end of this end turn, but then this will be able to do the part break-in. If you're watching on Twitch, sort of dusty cough I've been having has made me go through my tea exceptionally fast. So this will be a slightly longer break than normal as I go to replace the cup of tea, so I can hopefully keep the voice working. Because it looks like my voice is going to be doing most of the heavy lifting in this Let's Play, at least for the beginning here, where there's not much going on. We got attacked by some rifle militia from the non-light forces, but actually participated particularly well in that fight, so that's good. So yeah, we should be coming up on the end turn, and here we are. So next time we'll be picking up the bottom round, 13. We're Over the end turn, we killed 400 infantry, and we have 1 dissident awaiting us. So until next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next one, and bye for now.